I just got off another learning lab. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's such a different space. And it's in a massive, stark contrast to a space I was in this morning, where I was taught the opposite of what I've just been taught in the learning lab. So in the learning lab, it's a decolonized space. And that means that you get to show up as you are, in your full humanity. It's blown my mind. It's blowing my mind because in this other space, I was literally taught how to completely mask my humanity. I was taught how to present confidently even when I don't feel confident. The context there is learning how to do public speaking. And I just found it very troublesome, very, very problematic, because it basically I was taught to do something that I experienced a lot in my abusive marriage, which was my ex speaking to me about subjects that he didn't know anything about, as if he did, and in full confidence, and then using that confidence against me. Using that confidence against me, his wife, his partner. It was so troubling. It was so troubling. One of the ways that we can trust people is when what people say matches with what they do. So if we are going around deliberately learning how to hide ourselves and mask ourselves to present confidently, ultimately it has the potential for manipulation. And that is my concern with what I learned this morning. Now, I don't think that that is the intention of the teaching. In fact, when I raised the question in the call, it was picked up on, and the people doing the training addressed it, and they said it's a common question. I don't think they addressed it well enough. I don't think they did a thorough enough job of addressing my concern. Anyway, the contrast is incredible, and basically what the learning lab is this decolonized space where you get to be human, and the other experience was you don't get to be human. In fact, they actually said that so the idea is that you present yourself in character as this confident speaker, and that you mustn't break character. And if you break character, you've failed. And that if you break character, then somebody said that chaos would ensue and mistrust. And I just think it's the absolute opposite. I think if you break character, people love you because you're way more relatable. So the whole thing goes against every fibre of my being and everything that I stand for, I think. Like, oh my God. Yeah, it was so troublesome. So troublesome. Anyway, the learning lab, really good. Really good. What an incredible place to be able to share something vulnerable, something real, something true to you, something authentic and deeper, and in a way where you are met with, they call it neutral compassion, which is a really interesting concept. Neutral compassion. It's compassion, but without comment, basically, without comment, without so there's a bunch of agreements that are put in place, made and taught to us for our safety, so that we can have this decolonized experience, which might seem like it's, oh, well then how decolonized is that? It's incredibly well thought through, and just because something's decolonized doesn't mean, there's my cat, that it doesn't still need structure and some kind of rules, if you like. I mean, they're not called rules, they're called agreements, but anyway, one of them is about crosstalk, and how basically when you speak, each person gets like 4 minutes to speak, and when you speak, you don't reference someone else's share, and you don't, each person shares, and then they are compassionately witnessed in a neutral way, and then the next person shares and they're witnessed, and the next person shares. And so there's no, what that does is it might sound a bit weird, because it sounds as if, oh, but you share something and then nobody says anything. But the point is that the posture of everybody on the call is such that they are listening and they're engaged, and we're taught that we have to have our cameras on, and we can give non-verbal feedback, such as, you know, like a hand to the chest, or if we celebrate something that someone said, we can do finger snaps like this, or, you know, you could show sort of empathy in your face. But for the most part, they're encouraging a neutral stance, so that you're not worried when you say something that you're going to offend somebody. You're not worried about somebody's emotional response, because they're supposed to be in control of themselves and not putting that out too much, which is a big thing. This is something I struggle with, because I wear my heart on my sleeve a lot of the time, and so you can tell how I feel, whether that's good or bad. And so that can actually be problematic, and it's something that I'm like, okay, I need to deal with that. So yeah, so we don't say, we don't comment on each other's shares, and and yet we're so very present with each other. Oh, it's amazing. And I just felt like we came out of the breakout room and back into the main room, and I wanted to cry, because when do you ever get witnessed like that? When do you ever have strangers share with each other something deep, something vulnerable, and just hold space for each other in a neutrally compassionate way. I can't think of any other place. I can't think of anything right now. It's unbelievable. This is a very, very, very special experience. It's a special group, and we need it. And it was interesting actually because there's not many men there. And at the end we were asked to look at the screen and like just give that neutral compassion to the people that we could see on the gallery view on Zoom. And I was looking for the men, and I just wanted to tell them thank you. Thank you for coming and for doing this work, because yeah, we all need it. We all need it. Obviously we all do. But dare I say it, men need it more. Why does that have to be something I have to dare to say? This organisation and this group is doing really, really good work, helping people find their humanity again and accepting the humanity of others. That's what I do in my work as a therapist. My tagline, if you like, is not broken, simply human. Maybe that should be my YouTube channel. I don't know.